Welcome back to Unsolicited Feedback, the podcast where we cut through the noise, skip the corporate jargon, and get real about what actually drives results. Because let's be honest, hope is not a business strategy. I'm your host, Chuck Knabusch, the operations guy. After 40 plus years across the military, corporate America, and now entrepreneurship, I've seen what works, what breaks, and why leadership, planning, and execution are the great separators between average and exceptional results. As you're catching the replay, send your thoughts or challenges directly to me at chuck@1310.com, chuck@13ten.com. As your time matters, let's jump straight into today's topic. Stop having meetings about meetings. How leaders fix the real problem. Today, I want to talk about something every leader has suffered through at least once. Actually, scratch that. Something you've probably suffered through way more than once. The dreaded meeting, whose only outcome is that you need another meeting. If that doesn't make your eye twitch, congratulations. You've clearly never worked in corporate America, manufacturing, or anywhere with more than 3 humans in the building. Today, we're going to break down why these unproductive, circular meetings happen, the biggest hidden challenges behind them, the fake fixes leaders keep trying, why those fixes crash and burn, and the one thing you can do to turn your meetings into execution engines instead of soul-sucking time vacuums. You're going to leave with tools, structure, and, hopefully, a little less trauma surrounding Outlook invites. The biggest problem: leaders don't define the objective, so the meeting can't succeed. Let me start with a true story from the vintage years of my career. I once sat in a meeting called by a project manager. In the room, multiple plant managers, the VP of manufacturing, the senior VP of operations, and a handful of other heavy hitters. Basically, this wasn't the bring donuts and hang out crowd. We spent over an hour discussing some issue, thinking the whole purpose of the meeting was to talk through it and make a decision. At the end, the project manager confidently announces, "Perfect. So now we just need to schedule a meeting to discuss and decide this topic." Everybody looked around like someone had just spoken in Martian, because every single person in that room believed that that was the agenda for the meeting we were already in. Nobody left happy, except maybe the project manager, who genuinely believed he crushed it, like he had just landed on the moon. That story captures the real problem. If a leader fails to define the purpose and expected outcome, the meeting becomes a directionless swirl of wasted time and frustrated people. It's not a scheduling problem. It's not a communication problem. It's a leadership clarity problem. So what's the biggest symptom of this problem? People leave meetings confused, frustrated, or without actionable next steps. How do you know you've got this issue? It's pretty simple. People walk out and immediately ask one of these deadly phrases. So, what did we decide? Wait, what were we supposed to do? Or, what happens next? Is this my action item or somebody else's? Or, was this a real meeting or a cry for help? Yeah, exactly. These are symptoms of a meeting disease. In manufacturing operations, this isn't just annoying. It's expensive. The average manager loses 23 to 28% of their work week in wasted meetings, according to the Harvard Business Review. That's almost a full day every single week, disappearing into the void because the meeting had no clear purpose, no structure, or no decision rule. It's not just inefficiency, it's operational drag. So what do most people do to try to fix it? Well, they add more meetings, more people, more slides. Now, here's where things get counterintuitive and maybe a little tragic. When meetings go poorly, most leaders try and fix the problem by doubling down on the same behavior that caused it. They schedule another meeting. They invite more people because surely the answer is in Jim's email folder. They create bigger slide decks. They expand the agenda instead of sharpening it. They discuss the issue again to get alignment. They assume the problem is a lack of consensus instead of a lack of clarity. Manufacturing leaders are especially prone to this because we're trained to solve problems collaboratively. But collaboration without direction is just group wandering, like a hiking trip where nobody brought a map, but everybody keeps insisting they're pretty sure it's this way. Why that solution rarely works? Because the meeting wasn't broken, the leadership intent was. Here's the truth, and it may sting a bit. You can't fix a meeting problem with more meetings. That's like trying to put out a fire by throwing additional fires on it. The real issue is this. Leaders treat meetings like events instead of decisions. If the meeting doesn't have a clear objective, a defined decision type, known requirement inputs, a decision owner, and expected outcomes or outputs, and assigned next steps, then the meeting is nothing but noise. Let me be blunt, and this comes from 40 plus years in operations. Meeting bloat happens because leaders confuse convening people with accomplishing something. And nobody wants to say the emperor has no clothes. So everyone smiles, nods, and pretends the meeting was meaningful, while secretly wondering how much PTO they could burn before somebody notices. Okay, so what's the one thing that actually moves the needle? Well, define the decision before you schedule the meeting. Here it is, the cure. The one thing that consistently prevents meetings about meetings is this. Before you schedule a meeting, answer these 5 questions. Number 1, what decision must be made? If there's no decision, you probably don't need a meeting. Number 2, what type of decision is it? Is it informative? Is it to recommend something? Is it to decide something, align with something, or resolve something? This alone eliminates 50% of pointless meetings. Number 3, what inputs are required to make that decision? Is it specific data, a forecast, a cost model, a supplier quote, a design? Bring the puzzle pieces or don't start the puzzle. Number 4, who owns the decision? If the meeting doesn't have a decision owner, it's already dead. Number 5, what will be true when the meeting ends? Here's some examples. We select option A or option B. We approve the capital request. We finalize the training rollout timeline. We set the production schedule for week 14. If you cannot clearly define the required end state, you cannot run a productive meeting. Pro tip from the operations guy. If you can't write the objective in one sentence, the meeting will drift. If you can't write the expected outcome in one sentence, the meeting will fail. So leaders, here's the bottom line. If you want to eliminate wasted time, frustrated teams, and meetings that lead nowhere, you must define the decision before you define the meeting. You'll run tighter meetings. You'll get better execution. Your team will thank you. And bonus, fewer people will fantasize about faking an urgent forklift malfunction to escape your calendar invites. If you like this topic and want more on leadership, execution, and operational excellence, hit subscribe and let's keep building better businesses, one real meeting at a time. And that's a wrap for today's episode of Unsolicited Feedback. Thanks for joining me, but don't just nod along. Apply something from today's conversation. Because results don't show up just from listening. They show up because you did something. Even one small action this week will move the needle farther than a month of good intentions. And if you want to go deeper, scan the QR code or schedule a 30-minute strategy chat. I'd love to hear how you're using planning, leadership, and execution to make sure hope never becomes part of your business strategy. Drop a comment and like the episode. I'm Chuck Knabusch. Until next time, stay focused, stay disciplined, and don't you dare rely on hope.